What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Breaking Debates. It's me, Narik, Zach. We on here want to do it again. We got several subjects we want to talk about in this video. And first of all, we're going to jump on the Jungle Book trailer. Now, please, man, let me know what your thoughts are.
Well, upon seeing that trailer, I'm actually happy that they got the producers of Pirates of the Caribbean to produce this movie, because when I looked at this trailer, I almost see some elements of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie in there. You know, being from the same producers, you get that same feeling.
Yeah.
So I was immediately psyched for it, and then come to learn it's also the same person who directed Iron Man is directing this movie.
Yeah.
And we all know what a good movie Iron Man was, so you put those two elements together, and it can only hopefully make for a good movie, right?
Yeah, I mean, it had a very epic feel to the movie. Even, I mean, it was in the jungle, and it's it's a retelling of the Jungle Book, you know, Disney made back in the day. And I like the fact that it does seem like it's going to take a dark, it's kind of a dark tone to it too, but it also has this magical element to it.
It had a very dark, very intense atmosphere to this trailer, which I almost wouldn't think of the Jungle Book as being, but it looks like it gives it some real potential to be very exciting and have a very dark twist to it.
And I like I don't know about you, but I like the animal designs. They look, like the visuals look on point.
The CGI looks good.
Yes.
I mean, that's, coming from the producer of Pirates of the Caribbean, that's, you know, not so far-fetched. They did great in that movie with CGI, so it would be only fitting that they do good in this movie as well with their CGI effects. But yeah, I like how intense this trailer felt. It was kind of unexpected, but it kind of fits in a way.
Yeah.
And I hope it plays out well in the long run for the entire movie.
I mean, because like we said, we all know what the story of the Jungle Book is, but I hope, you know, that it, like you said, it brings that special excitement that a lot of live adaptations sometimes can't get, but sometimes do get. And like I said, I was really psyched when I seen this trailer. And I have to say, the best aspect of this whole entire trailer was Shere Khan. Shere Khan looked like he was ready. I was like, oh, it's gonna be on. And this movie has a terrific voice cast, actually.
Well, I was about to ask you, what do you think of the cast that they set up for this movie? Because I think it's a pretty terrific cast.
A really good cast. You got Christopher Walken, Idris Elba, Scarlett Johansson. I don't know if you've seen any of Lupita Nyong'o. I'm sorry if I butchered her name. And she seemed like she's up and coming. I seen her in Non-Stop. She was actually pretty good in Non-Stop. I think she played in another movie, but I haven't seen it. But that's like a potential right there. They got Ben Kingsley too.
I didn't see Non-Stop, but yeah, you're right. Hopefully, she's an up and coming actress. Maybe it'll work out.
Yeah, and Ben Kingsley, and of course Bill Murray, Mr. Badass fucking Murray, would play Baloo. Oh my gosh!
I did not expect to see his name for some reason, but when I saw the cast, I was like, wow, Bill Murray's is gonna be in this. Wow. I was blown away at that.
Did you see do you remember the part where the bear was right there, like roaring at the primates and stuff?
Yeah.
I was like, that's Baloo? Look, rewind that, that's Baloo. Oh! But I hope he does continue. I mean, it's Bill Murray. I mean, it's okay. You have the live adaptation of the part, which makes bears look fierce. Because bears are pretty fierce animals. They can be gentle, but they're pretty fierce. But you also have to nail Baloo's personality. Yeah. And I personally think Bill Murray actually can do that.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Bill Murray's got that. He's got the attitude that kind of suits Baloo's personality. So I think he'll do good. I think he'll be a good character.
I think so too. Ben Kingsley as not King Louis, Bagheera. I think that suits too. Because Bagheera was kind of a no-nonsense type of character. He liked Mowgli, he kind of tolerated Baloo, but he was very no-nonsense And for those of you who don't know who Bagheera is, he was the Black Panther.
Yeah, almost. Would you say nonchalance?
I wouldn't say nonchalance. I say he's kind of, I don't know how to say, you know, Piccolo.
Yeah.
Kind of like Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z.
Just kind of in the middle.
Serious.
It kind of seriously in the middle of things.
Yeah. What do you think about Ben Kingsley being part of that? Playing that character?
He can suit it. We'll never know until we actually see this movie, but it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I agree. Ben Kingsley is a terrific actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor. I like him. I think this role will help him. Let's just say that.
What do you think about a kid, Neil Sethi, who's playing Mowgli? Because me personally, I thought he absolutely looked the part.
He looks the part. If he can play the part, is another story.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about this kid.
No, neither have I. That's what I'm saying. He really does look the part. He really, really does. But I don't know what he can deliver.
Yeah. I hope he can bring it. Bring that innocence, but also bring that sense of adventure.
Hopefully the critics won't be too hard on him.
I hope not. You know what? I think when you say the critics, I think it might be a case of him because he is in the middle of a lot of talented actors and actresses.
Yeah, he is.
So he gonna have to deliver the film, even though I know the other actors are kind of gonna carry it in their own way, but hopefully he can pull that part.
Yeah, hopefully the majority of the audience who see this movie, they're not gonna be so focused on these big name actresses and actors. Hopefully they give him some, some attention as well, and he's not going to be overshadowed by these big names like Scarlett Johansson and whatnot.
Okay, so what do you think about Christopher Walken playing King Louis?
I love Christopher Walken. He's probably one of my favorite funny actors, and I think it'll be hilarious in this, honestly, if he keeps to his typical movie actor ways. The way he always portrays himself, if he keeps true to that, I think he'll be good in this.
I wonder because King Louis was kind of a very loud, outgoing character, and are they gonna have the dance musicals and stuff? And
that's actually a good question. If Disney's gonna take this kind of dark twist to things, as they kind of seem to be taking lately with their movies, are we gonna be losing all these musical aspects of their movies? Are we gonna lose this kind of like child friendliness to it, or are they gonna go down this dark path to no end?
Because remember the one part of the trailer, at the end of the trailer, where it shows Mowgli running through the temple, and then he jumps out, and then you see him, that big old hand try to grab him.
Yeah.
At first, I took that for Baloo, but then I'm thinking about, I think that was King Louis.
Yeah, I don't think that was Baloo.
And that was a big ass hand. I mean, I don't know if you guys seen it, but it was like, you see how my hand is swiping right? Yeah, that's how it was. But and just one more thing about the trailer that, besides the epic scope of it and the wonderful cast and the visual effects, and of course, Scarlett Johansson is going to be in it because she's doing the voiceover, which I really thought she nailed. But she's playing Kai the Snake, and it kind of makes me wonder how is this going to be portrayed, because in the cartoon, the Snake was kind of an antagonist. I think he was an antagonist. It's kind of weird. He wasn't like a main antagonist, but he was like a douche.
He was. I almost want to say he was like a background antagonist, but he didn't play into the major story plot.
Because what was the one part he hypnotized the Mowgli, and then he wrapped him up, and then he was gonna eat him, I think. But I think Bagheera came in and saved him. It was either Bagheera or Baloo. And I want to just jump on Lupita's character, but I'm sorry, I should have went back and maybe watched the old one from back in the day, because I hardly remember anything about the wolves. In fact, I completely forgot about the wolves until I actually looked at the character she was playing.
Yeah, the wolves didn't hit me too hard. I don't really remember really seeing them that much. Maybe it was too long ago, but that skipped my mind.
So that's our thoughts on the Jungle Book trailer. Overall, I think the trailer was really impressive. Really impressive.
It was good. It was impressive. I'll go see this movie.
Yeah, it showed a lot of darkness. It had a lot of dark feel to it. It had a lot of light moments to it. It had a very magical aspect, especially the shots of the jungle.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that. Next.
Next up, we're gonna have the Fantastic Four. What makes a good movie?
As far as the Fantastic Four is concerned, because I've seen all three movies, I think it's a few points. Okay, characters, of course. The characters have to be likable. They have to have lives, good relationships, and if it's a Fantastic Four being an origin movie, you have to have that development arc. Not only because of the individual characters, but also as a team.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I still haven't gotten up the courage to see the newest Fantastic Four movie after the reviews I saw on it.
It's not. Maybe because I'm a bit more open-minded about comic book adaptations, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I actually quite enjoyed myself. Y'all guys, stay tuned for the review within the next week or two. But like with that movie, I loved the cast. I actually like the characters that played the roles. They fit those roles. They actually fit those roles. Kind of like in the original Fantastic Four movie. I liked Jessica Alba and Chris Evans. Like, I definitely felt the brother-sister dynamic, and they actually stayed true to the characters, in my opinion. I can't remember the other guy that played Ben Grimm, but I thought he was pretty good. The only problem I might have had was the guy that played the Mr. Fantastic, but that's a whole different video. But as far as, it's just several things that make a good movie, especially when it comes to a Fantastic Four movie. Characters, plot,
Directing.
Especially directing. A good villain. Me personally, I like Dr. Doom, but it doesn't have to be the villain every go around.
How important is CGI?
CGI is a must. It is a must. And I think, and this, like in the story, give us a really good story, a really engaging one. And people want to see these characters use their powers. They want to see characters use their powers, which is one thing I heard. Which is one thing that's kind of been a bad thing with the Fantastic Four. You don't really see them utilize their powers the way you want to. You got a little bit of that in the Rise of the Silver Surfer. You got a little bit of it in the new one that just came out.
No, man, I did like Rise of the Silver Surfer. That was a good movie for me.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
The story, the CGI, it all meshed together really well. Maybe the directing could have used a little bit of help, but it was good. Yeah.
And I think one problem that the movies be having, the first two felt like some of the major problems that a lot of people had were the fact that they were too lighthearted. And then you have the one that just came out and it was too dark. So maybe we have to find that balance in between.
Yeah, it could be a balancing act. Like you said, a lot of the movies were light. Apparently, you say this other one was a little bit dark.
Like they was trying to go for a very dark tone. Me personally, the story was pretty solid. There were certain aspects of the story that could have been touched on a bit better, but the story itself actually made sense for what it was.
Okay, I'll take your word on that.
So you gotta have some good characters. You gotta have a good cast.
Good director.
Good directing.
Decent CGI.
Decent CGI. You gotta have a good story. And we want to see these motherfuckers use their powers, damn it. And not just like the traditional way. We want to see them mix it up a bit.
Get creative.
Yes, yes. Like I want to see Johnny Storm like shoot fireballs out of his hands. Which is one thing I liked about the new one, because you actually see them like form fireballs just like I want to see that, you know what I mean? But what do you think about it?
I think everything we've named here is exactly what we need to make a good movie. if directors would just follow through with these points, which any good director should know, you'll have a good film, at least a halfway decent film.
Alright, let me ask you something. If we're going to go with the Doctor Doom aspect, do we have to have the same traditional Doctor Doom as in the comics, or do we have to have different ones? Like, have the same, the source material, but also change it a bit? Like, what did you think about the one in the original series?
You can keep the source material, but you can bring in new things every now and then, but I wouldn't say don't bring in too much new stuff too fast.
Yeah.
Sprinkle it in here and there. Don't oversaturate it with so much new material, because that can completely destroy what you're aiming towards.
Because I think I was talking to somebody about the Doctor Doom aspect, and they said they wanted to see Doom from the comics. Well, I'm like, okay, Doom from the comics uses magic, but in this movie, you're relying solely on science. So you can't just bring magic out of nowhere.
Some people will argue that science is magic or magic is science. So,
or maybe, you know what, you haven't said that. Maybe if they're gonna do that with Doom, maybe he got a hold of some of the technology from like Asgard, because Asgard is somewhat a mesh of magic and technology. You see what I'm saying? I think that, because it's all in that universe. So
yeah,
I think that would be pretty much the only way they can do that. Because it'd be weird to sit here and have all this technology-based stuff, and then Dr. Doom shows up and he's just doing magic. It'll just throw things off.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that. That would be kind of strange to see that.
But yeah, I think that's just about our thoughts on like points that can make a better Fantastic Four movie.
Follow those points and you'll have a good movie. Next, we're going to hit on a little bit of a different topic. Video game DLC nowadays.
Bullshit. Straight bullshit.
Why are we still paying for content that should come with the full purchase of a game?
I have no idea. I have no idea. And that's why I hate day one DLC.
Day one DLC is such a damn lie. It's getting to the point now that pre-order DLC is even a bigger lie, and which is why the pre-order business is in miserable failure right now. And I heard even some companies are speaking about just quitting pre-orders altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Because not a lot of people are pre-ordering games anymore, because they're realizing what a lie all this is. And what's even worse, we're seeing game companies these days trying to push the DLC further and further. Basically, what you're doing now, it seems, you're paying $60 for a game, but you're only paying for like 25% of a game, because in the next few months, they're going to be releasing like 4 or 5 DLCs for this game that you're going to have to shell out extra money for content that should have already been in your full purchase to begin with.
Mm-hmm. And then a lot of these type of games, when they do that, they're like linear-based games. They're not like, let's go ahead and get this straight. Look, there's some DLC that's acceptable. Skyrim, Fallout, Borderlands. Like, games like that are worth the damn DLC, because you already put hundreds of hours into the game itself, and then you can go back and play however many more the DLC brings you to it. There's no problem with that. But we're talking about like games like, I got Batman Arkham Knight, and I got pissed off because they were talking about you get a season pass, and I'm like, the game just came out, so why is there a season pass and stuff being brought as soon as the game's out?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
That, like, stuff like that pissed me off.
What about the DLC King Destiny? They just came out with a new DLC. Like what? $80 now, I think, is the grand total. Why would someone get so much DLC for this game when they should have had everything to begin with?
I'm gonna give Destiny. I'm gonna say this about Destiny. I wouldn't be against Destiny, but from my perspective, it's a shitty game itself. Shitty games, and then you're sitting here trying to pull out some DLC. It feels like it's like a cash cow. So your game failed. So what you're gonna do is, from the people that's already bought your game, you're gonna try to suck. You're gonna try to drain the money from them by having DLC that should have been in the game and made it because it's basically a fucking online game.
All Destiny is an online
multiplayer.
All it is it's a shooter. That's all it is.
And like I said, it has a story, but I heard that the story, like I said, my perspective, because I hear reviews and stuff on the game.
How many people have played Destiny actually for the story and not for the online multiplayer?
Exactly. And then those who do play this, have played, you know, for the story, didn't like the story because it felt like there was no story.
Well, it's no wonder why they only played through the story once and they never went back to it. Now they're stuck on multiplayer, and now they got all this DLC coming out for multiplayer, so everyone's shelling out money from their pockets for it.
And like I said, some DLC is alright. Like when they have episodic games, okay, I don't have no problem with the season pass for that because you're buying the games ahead of time and you actually saving money that way actually. But like that, I don't mind. That's fine. If I bought Resident Evil. The first one was like $5, but it's like 4 more. But each one was $5 individually. But if you buy season pass, it was like 15, so you save $5. Okay, I don't mind that. If we have a game like Mortal Kombat or Injustice or something like that, or Street Fighter, and we got like a good cast of characters already, and they want to add some like after a while, maybe after they like poll people and ask what they want, then fine. But don't. This is why I was kind of against the Killer Instinct, which I went back and played that Killer Instinct, and that's a fucking awesome ass game. Damn, that game was good as hell. I only played with 2 characters, but that motherfucker was good. But yeah, like with that, you got the game, but you have to buy the characters. And I'm like, okay, I really would have liked to just bought the characters and the game. And if you wanted to add other shit, then that'd have been an issue. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, okay, sweet.
All I know is that eventually you have to put an end to the whole DLC thing. Like, I don't mind 1 or 2 DLCs being released for a game, but it's getting to the point now, like, you're seeing, it's not even these big, massive DLC packages anymore. Now it's these little things that are being thrown into games that you have to pay extra for. Why should you have to pay extra for these little things that should be in this game already?
Yeah. Like I said, if you're going to do DLC, do it in moderation. Fine. Do some DLC, but do some fucking work first.
And then put an end to it eventually. Stop coming out with this DLC for these games.
Like I said, I'm not totally against it, but it's a system that we can agree that's being abused.
Yes. Especially by the AAA game companies.
Mm-hmm. Microsoft. But anyway, guys, that's it for this edition of Breaker the Base. In the comment section below, tell us what you thought about the Jungle Book trailer. Did you like the casting? Did you like the tone of it? Also, give us your thoughts on the Fantastic Four. What are some things that we can do to actually have a good Fantastic Four movie? And also, what are your thoughts on the DLC? You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about the download central. But until the next edition, Gear Breaker Nation, keep those gears turning.